What's going on, guys? I'm Jake, the offensive gamer, and this is Dragon Age Keep. Hold on a second, I'm gonna pull something up real quick. Alright, just making sure. Okay, so this is kind of a prologue of sorts, I guess is a way you could describe it as, to the actual playthrough of Dragon Age, Inquisition. I've done a little bit of research, not a ton, you know, I haven't really gone incredibly in depth. I haven't actually played Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2. This will be the first Dragon Age game I play, but I'm a big fan of BioWare, so I imagine, or more so, I'm a big fan of Mass Effect, which was made by BioWare, so I imagine that I'll enjoy this series as well. Now, one thing I will say is that regarding Dragon Age Keep, if you're not aware of what this is, it's essentially like a decision-making sort of process where you can choose different things that happened in the prior two games that will carry over to your save into Dragon Age Inquisition. So it's not like any sort of default stuff. You're choosing everything that happened, and it's pretty in-depth. I've actually done everything, but I wanted to go ahead and just kind of give a brief overview, because I imagine a few people would like to know what I ended up choosing. Also, in this video, this isn't 100% guarantee, but I plan on having the character customization in this video as well. So expect this to be about an hour and a half long video. So if you're not actually interested in seeing this, that's fine. Don't expect any major gameplay aspects to be involved in this video. The beginning of the playthrough will start in the next one. Alright, now I don't want to be too in-depth, because I don't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to kind of give a brief overview of exactly what I chose in every single thing. And before we get right into it, I want to preface that even though I did a little bit of research, I want it to be understood that I'm not presenting any of these or any of this information as fact. It's purely my interpretation of the things that I've read and watched in videos. So if I'm incorrect about something, feel free to correct me, just don't be a dick about it, and, you know, I'd be more than happy to learn more about this, franchise and everything that's happened in the past with it. So we're gonna go ahead and start off with the hero. Now I started off with, one second, I started off with the warden being, dying, being killed by the archdemon, or Jesus Christ, died killing the archdemon, but after a few little things I thought were, kind of interesting, it forced me to change it, so I decided to allow the warden to be alive and well. Can I go back? Okay. And I don't know, I like the whole idea of the martyr situation. It just seems like it would fit this character. I kind of made this character to be somewhat of a paragon sort of thing. Or at least I believe I did. There were some choices that may have been evil. I'm not really sure. I didn't play the game. And I didn't look up every little bit on every single choice I made, because that would have taken forever. Okay, so I chose Aiden, the human noble rogue, and actually I might change the character class for the sequel, but I do want this one to be a rogue, just because I like the whole idea of archery and stuff like that. And I don't know, like the whole warrior class I might do for Inquisition. I don't like having to keep track of a whole bunch of things, and I'm not exactly like really well versed in different classes. I assume rogue is kind of like a small arms and arrows sort of situation, so you know, he can kind of fight people with like daggers and stuff like that, and then more is a specialist in long range, whereas a warrior would be better with, you know, swords and shields and shit like that. The mage, you know, is obviously a specialist in magic. I'm not going to be an elf. I might change my character to elf also in the second one. If I don't think I'm capable, actually, but regardless, I didn't want to be an elf in this one, simply because I felt like it made more sense for my character to be human, this time around. I don't think I'll be, elf in the, Inquisition either, I keep on saying simply because, but because, from what I understand about elves is that they're kind of like the, what's the right word? Black people of Dragon Age. So I just wanted to go ahead and refrain from being, you know, treated like shit and all that. Because elves are considered to be like second-class citizens, from what I understand. Like at one point they were considered to be, you know, like this storied and I guess respected history within their race. But once the humans came along, that kind of fucked shit up. Evidently humans kind of control the land, altogether. They're the most populated. It's not that they're necessarily special. There's just more of them. You know, strength in numbers, right? So the dwarves are underground for the most part. They kind of have their own sort of thing going on. Elves are usually treated like shit. Nobody really respects elves. And then there's the humans. There's also the Canary, which are like this much bigger class of characters, but obviously I can't play as them, so I'm not going to. But anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna go with this guy as my hero. Now, we'll go to companions first. I went ahead and chose to romance Morgan. Now, what I understand about Morgan is that she's kind of a dark character. She's not exactly a good guy. And originally I was going to go with Leliana, I think is how you pronounce it. But I chose to go with Morgan for something that happens later on in the story regarding giving birth. And I'll mention that in a second when we get to it. Obviously, I recruited the dog because why the fuck not? Like, why would I not recruit the dog? The dog's there. That's, you know, it's cool. Okay, so there's a guy named Logain. And I think basically what this guy did, I'm not even going to claim to know exactly what he did, but evidently he's kind of a piece of shit. That's essentially what he is. Now, I'm going to go ahead and read this. Terran Logain betrayed his king. Okay, here we are. Betrayed his king and assumed regency of the Ferelden crown for a time, convinced it was the only way to save the country he loved. All right. That having been said, you know, I mean, it's kind of like a situation in which it's presented as if he's a good guy, but everything I've read about him is that he went about it in a very evil sort of way. And I don't know, I like the idea. Alistair is one of the companions you have in the game. I like the idea of Alistair kind of, you know, taking him out in a duel. You know, that seemed like a really cool idea. I didn't want to kill Logain myself just because, I don't know, that just seems kind of boring. Like, I don't like the idea of me being autonomous, you know, the idea of my character being the end-all, be-all, and he controls everything in this world. I like there to be some parts of the game where I don't have control over things, and I like the idea of letting my companions serve their purposes throughout the game. I really enjoy doing that with Mass Effect whenever I could. You know, it gives a feeling of, like, this is a team. This is more than just me. I'm the leader, sure, but I'm not the only one of any value within the group. So I like the idea of Alistair being the one to fight Logain and kill him. Now, Logain can survive, and he can actually die killing the Archdemon. The Archdemon is apparently, like, the main antagonist of the game or something like that. But I didn't like that. And once again, this all goes back to Morgan giving birth, and once again we'll get to that soon. I don't know much about this. What did the warden do about Sten's imprisonment in Lothering? The warden found Sten a mighty Qunari, I think is how you pronounce it, Qunari warrior of the Barasad, locked up in a cage outside of the village of Lothering. So these are like kind of side quests from what I believe. And so I went ahead and went about saying, persuaded revered mother to free Sten. I tend to like solving things through words if I can. It's sort of you know, showing that, you know, it's not just brawn, there's also brains. You know, I value the idea of being somewhat of a wordsmith and being able to convince people of things, being manipulative. That's something I've always thought was interesting in a game, is being able to manipulate people to do things the way you want. I don't like intimidating people just because that just feels like brute force, and it doesn't feel like he's very clever in that sense. Now, in most games, whenever you decide to persuade somebody, it's usually not that good at persuading. Like, if somebody said that shit to me, I'd be like, fuck you, I'm still doing this. Because they usually just, like, present something as obvious and anybody could think of saying. But regardless, I chose to persuade. Then I decided to recruit Sten, because why not? It's a character that you can recruit. And I recruited Ogren, who I assume is a dwarf from his stature and the fact that he has a warhammer. Now, Sten's sword. Actually, I didn't read a lot of these question marks the first time. I didn't see them before. But did the warden return Sten's sword to him? Sten, a Qunari warrior of the Barasad, lost his blade, Asala, when he was knocked unconscious during a battle. So, yeah, of course I'm going to go ahead and return the sword. Recruited Zevran. Let's read a little bit about him, if there's anything I can read. After Zevran's mission to assassinate the warden failed, he asked to join the warden's fight against the Blight. I don't know why the fuck I would ask this guy who tried to kill me to join me, but why not? once again, have as many companions as you can. Zevran is alive and well. Zevran's life as an anti-Van Crow was filled with risk and danger even before he joined the fight against the Fifth Blight. All right. So Dragon Age Origins encountered the Fifth Blight, from what I understand. So now recruited Wynn, because why not? Now, this one was interesting to me. The idea of one of my companions becoming king. I think I could have become king if I wanted to, but I didn't like that idea. Once again, I don't like my character to be 100% autonomous, so I like companions to be able to have power as well. His royal blood having come to light while traveling with the Warden, Alistair is crowned King of Ferelden. Raised by Arl Yeaman Garin of Redcliffe, I don't know. Alistair is the illegitimate son of King Merrick. Alistair did not enjoy training as a Templar and was relieved when Duncan recruited him into the Grey Wardens. Now, okay, Templars and Grey Wardens. Templars are sort of like, at least I think that this is their main purpose, is to kind of guard mages. Not like in the traditional sense of guarding, but kind of monitor them. Make sure that they're not doing anything that they shouldn't be. Like if you're using your powers, your magic powers, without any sort of nobility, they will, they'll not hunt you down, I don't think, but they'll bring you to justice. And they also ensure that mages, there's like this kind of rite of passage for a mage where they are brought to like this sort of altar area, and they're tested to see if a demon could take advantage of their powers and possess them. If that is a possibility, they become tranquil, I think is the way it's called, where the Templars will remove their powers, but in the process of removing a mage's magic powers, they also lose all emotion. So they're kind of not vegetables, but like in the sense of emotions, they are in a vegetative state. They have no emotions whatsoever. They are just completely ambitionless, and some question as to whether or not being tranquil is even a way to live, like whether or not that's even something that people should do, whether they should just like kill themselves when they're tranquil. So I thought that was actually kind of interesting. Also the Grey Wardens. Now I think the Grey Wardens are kind of like the final frontier. They're kind of the people who can actually fight the archdemon, and the only way to be able to kill an archdemon, at least going into the game, is believed by for a Grey Warden to do it by killing them. But in the process of a Grey Warden killing the archdemon, they will be killed as well. So that's a little bit of interesting backstory I learned. So yeah, Alistair became king. Warden and Alistair were not lovers. Yeah, I'm not really into the whole gay thing, so no thank you. Wynn, alive and well, sure. Lilana, alive and well, who was a potential romance, but no thank you. Okay, so here's the, well, hold on. Acquired from, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so here's the thing that I was talking about regarding the baby. Morgan had an old god baby with the Warden. Now, an old god, I believe, is a dragon. But don't hold me to that. That's just what I think. I keep on saying this stuff like I'm prefacing. Like, this is all just my interpretation. I said that at the very beginning of the video. I'm going to stop saying I think. If I'm wrong, feel free to let me know. Anyway, so there were a couple of different options for this. Morgan did not have a baby. That's whatever. Alistair could have had the baby with Morgan, but at the same time, there's this weird sort of situation where the only way that Morgan can have the baby is if I'm alive, and the reason why is because the old god baby, as I said, is essentially a dragon, and if an old god is born, it can dictate whether or not somebody will die killing an archdemon. Don't ask me the logic behind that. That's just what I read. So essentially what this means is, like, I can't die if she has the old god child, but at the same time, I don't know exactly what happened to the old god child, so I thought to myself, okay, why not have this be a thing? What if it comes into play during Inquisition, right? I want to have as many possible things carry over from the previous two games into Inquisition, so I'm going to try to carry things over as much as possible. Which is why I had Alistair become king. I don't anticipate that I will encounter the Warden in Inquisition. I think there is a good possibility I could encounter Alistair. Now, Alistair was an ally to the Warden, so he very well could be an ally to me in Inquisition. And if he's the king, you'd like to have the king be your ally in a game, right? Well, that's why I decided to do. But since I was I wasn't going to die and there was going to be an old god baby, I figured, why not it be mine? And in that case, why not romance Morgan? So that's why I did that whole situation. So yeah. Hold on a sec. Let me go back. What was it? Morgan's child was the result of her completing the dark ritual with the warden. After learning that a gray warden must deliver the killing blow to an archdemon to end a blight, Morgan proposed a dark ritual that would create a child to absorb the archdemon's soul. That's what it was. That's what it was. It wasn't that they could dictate. It was that the godchild could, yeah, anyway. Okay, the warden acquired Flemeth's grimoire through peaceful means. Now, what is the grimoire? Because I don't actually know. The warden had an opportunity to help Morrigan find a book of magic belonging to her mother, Flemeth. Okay, so I acquired it peacefully. Well, that's ideal. So yeah, let's go with that. All right, so I just finished Companions. Now, the rest of the stuff is kind of side quest shit, so it's not really as much explanation as there is necessary for Companion stuff. But we'll still go over it, because I'm sure some people would like to see. Now, let's see. How did the warden resolve the problems between the werewolves and the elves? I decided to go ahead and broker peace. Now, I could have sided with the werewolves, and I guess that would have killed the elves, or I could have sided with the elves, and that would have killed off the werewolves, or something to that effect. There's a thing above it. It would have told me. Swayed by the pleas of the Lady of the Forest, the warden eliminated the Dalish and gained the werewolves as allies, or the warden eliminated the werewolf threat, forging an alliance with the Dalish. But my option was the werewolves were cured of their decades-long curse, and the Dalish joined the warden's forces against the blight. So I got the Dalish, and I really didn't have much of a use for the werewolves because they were no longer werewolves, I guess. So the only thing I have a problem with in that whole thing, and this is a problem with a lot of RPG games, and I'm gonna do them because they're there. It's the best possible option, but I don't like they're this like being like a perfect option. You know, to everything. There's always like a perfect option. There's always like, okay, well, if you did this, now everything works out perfectly. I'd like there to be situations in RPGs in the future where you don't need to, or not, you don't need to, but you don't get to have a perfect option. Like, it's like, okay, you have to sacrifice this or that. Without going into spoilers for Mass Effect, there's a situation in there on Vermeer where you have to choose between two characters. One of them lives, one of them dies. And I thought that was fucking awesome. I loved that idea because it affects the rest of the story. You know, one of those characters is now alive through the rest of the series and the other one is dead. And, you know, that was something I thought was excellent. I wish there was more of that. But regardless, it's just a little thing. I'll get off my soapbox. So I chose to save the Hala, brought Kemen and Gaina together, told Athras about his wife's fate, brought Verathon Ironbark, and returned Dagon to Dalish camp. All these things are little side quests, I guess, so I don't see the necessity in really going in depth with it. Okay, so in my whole thing, Branka ended her own life. I convinced Dagna to stay with her father. Dwarves that leave the underground are forever exiled to the surface, and Dagna was convinced to stay with the city. You know, my whole thought was like, okay, first of all, I should go into the dwarves a little bit. Dwarves are underground, and essentially the whole I think that like the best way of describing it is like the Amish. I think is a good way of describing these people, because once you leave, you can never come back. Obviously, the Amish have Rumspringer, but they have to come back eventually, and if they don't, they're exiled. At least that's what my interpretation, I keep saying that, is of that whole situation. I think it's very similar with the dwarves. You know, if you're underground and you choose to leave the underground, you never get to come back. You never get to come back. So my whole thought was like, all right, well, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be a dick. Like, I don't want to, like, separate her from her father. I mean, it's not really my choice. It's like, more so what she wants to do. But it seems like, you know, the good guy thing to do, right? So, and my character is supposed to be a good guy in this. I think I'm going to try to do kind of a balance. One thing I noticed about a lot of RPG games is like it's a good guy or bad guy. Especially, this is mainly prevalent in Mass Effect. I hope they don't do that in Dragon Age. But anyway, okay, so Belen rules Orzammar, didn't encounter Marty, didn't have son with Marty, so there's that. I killed Ruck and said he died heroically. I proved the Legion of Dead connected to a noble house. I returned the tomb to Shaperate, or Shaperot, I don't know, helped Burkhell create the Chantry. I helped Zerlanda reconcile with her family. I completed the Rojek's Lyrium deal and helped Orda join Assembly. Once again, I haven't, extensively researched all this stuff, so some of it was just like, okay, well, this sounds good. So that's kind of how I did that whole thing. To speed this kind of stuff up, I'm going to go ahead and just, like, let you guys look at some of it, and if for anybody, like, any hardcore Dragon Age fans, they'll just know the choices I made. But I'm going to stick to talking about the really important stuff. But, okay, go over prologue. I cure the Mabaria, blah, 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 fed Orsage. Okay, there you go. Denerim. I should probably go over that. Sir Landry is alive. Complete Master Ignacio's assassinations, blah, blah, blah. Helped Alistair find Guldana. Alright, there you go. I know I'm kind of... maybe this isn't exactly what everybody wants, but I don't want to, like, take up too much time, and plus the game is getting... I already went over this. The game's getting released in 20 minutes, so I'd like to be able to, get through this fairly quickly. Okay, this is kind of important, I guess. Who now rules Ferelden? Alistair, the half-brother of King Kylan, stepped up to become the new king of Ferelden, continuing a long line of kings from his bloodline. I could have gone with a joint sort of thing between him and Enora, but I wasn't too fond of that. I don't know very much about Enora, so and plus, yeah, once again, I'm not gonna be his queen. So there's Enora. I don't really know very much about Enora. So I gave you my whole speech on the whole companions thing, and being an ally would be beneficial. So is that all there is? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's all there is. Let's see. So the urn is not poisoned. There's that. The Battle of Denerim. The Warden took the final blow, eliminating the Archdemon and shattering the force that unified the Dark Spawn. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, I am the main character. At the end of the day, like, the main antagonist should be killed by the main protagonist, right? I mean, that makes sense. But yeah, the Fifth Blight could only be ended when the Archdemon was slayed by a Grey Warden during a pitched battle atop Fort Drekon in the city of Denerim. But yeah, like I said, I like spreading out the glory, but when it comes to that kind of thing, I think that it makes sense for my character to be the one that does the important stuff. But, yeah, so, I mean, pretty much this whole side quest thing is just like I chose to do things. The other option was not doing these things, and that's stupid, so I chose to do them. Okay, so that's all of the main stuff, and from here on out with Origins, it's just DLC. Now, the Architect. I chose to let him live. Now, in particular, what did he do? A rare intelligent Darkspawn, the Architect wished to make Darkspawn immune to the call of the old gods, ending the Blights forever, but releasing the Blight infection across Thedas. So this is kind of a back and forth. It ends the Blights forever, but it also releases the Blight infection. So it kind of makes things a little like, okay, it almost is questionable as to whether or not it even affects anything. If the Blight infection is already out there, then how is ending the Blights any different? Like, what does that affect? I don't know. I don't know enough about the Blights to really be sure. Feel free to let me know. But, oh, I probably should talk a little bit about the Darkspawn. From what I understand, god damn it, I keep on saying that. I'm sorry. The Darkspawn are essentially, I think the best comparison would be husks from Mass Effect. It's made by the same developer, so it makes sense. But yeah, they're kind of like these former people, former Canary, I think is how you pronounce it. Former dwarves, whatever the former race was, they are now like these indoctrinated versions of what they once were. And then the women are kind of transitioned into this sort of brood mother sort of thing, which is kind of weird, but like they give birth to new Darkspawn. And they also look really gross. That's another thing. They have like 8 tits and stuff. It's just weird. But yeah, the Warden is a like very sophisticated version of a Darkspawn who seems a little bit more sentient than the rest of them. And Nathaniel is alive and well. Ogren and Felsi are reunited, and I decided to keep... wait, hold on. Oh, excuse me. The Keep and are both protected. Once again, this is another example of perfect decision. I get to protect both of them, which seems kind of cheap, but I'm going to do it because it's there, right? So it makes sense. Anyway, so that's the expansion for Awakening. Witch Hunt DLC. Since I did a romance with Morrigan, the very ending of the game is going through this thing called the Alluvion. I don't know what the Alluvion does, but the warden, I chose to let the warden go through the Alluvion with Morrigan. Now let's read a little bit. Morrigan reappeared with an offer for the warden to step through a recently restored elven gateway known as an Alluvion. Once again, I don't know where this leads. Maybe the rest of you don't. But feel free to let me know. Okay, so with the Warden's Keep DLC, I gained Power of Blood, and I slayed Avernus. Now, I probably should go over Avernus. So there were two different decisions I could have made. I could have slayed Sophia, and Avernus would have continued his research, or I slayed Avernus, and Sophia is alive. Now, I think that basically the whole situation was that Avernus was like this guy who would like perform these really grotesque and fucked up experiments. And Avernus was, I guess, somewhat of a, like, vigilante kind of person. How did the warden resolve the situation with the blood mage Avernus and demon-possessed Sophie? Okay, no, maybe I was actually a little bit mistaken on that. So, Sophie was demon-possessed, and Avernus was a blood mage. I'm guessing that Avernus caused Sophie to become possessed. Could be wrong, but it would make sense, and I probably would have to kill him in order for Sophie to have her possession removed. Makes sense, right? It's a logical conclusion to come to. Stone Prisoner DLC. So this is the last one for Origins. Shale is alive and well, and I recruited him, and Matthias and Amalia both alive, and neither are possessed. Yay! Perfect. Okay, moving on to Dragon Age 2. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet, because I've pretty much explained all the things that I know about Dragon Age up to this point, so this one should be a lot quicker. But yeah, the hero. Okay, so he's Garrett, right? I chose mage for this. Yeah, and I can't do elf. I can't be an elf. It's purely human. That's the only choice I can make. All right, so I'm going to go with mage on this one, just because it could be interesting, right? I hope that there's, like, a balance between having magical powers and being able to use weapons and stuff. Like, kind of, you know, they did that with Mass Effect, where you would have a multiplicity of different abilities. There would be different classes, like Sentinel and Soldier, and a bunch of other ones. So, hopefully that's what happens with Inquisition. Now, that would be really cool to me. Now, the companions, none of them seemed all that interesting, and maybe I'm incorrect in that, but it just seemed kind of boring. But I decided to go and romance Meryl just because romancing a character is better than not romancing one. It probably has some sort of effect on the story in some sense. And Isabella versus Meryl. Meryl seemed a little bit more interesting to me. Carver became a Templar. Bethany died while escaping. Bartrand was killed. I was friends with Varric as opposed to being rivals with him, which is pretty cool. Bethany did not live to see the Mage-Templar War. There was something that would change it. What changed if I allowed Bethany to survive? What was it? Okay, I had to become a warrior, which I wasn't too keen on just because I like the idea of my character being a mage in this game. Bethany would have had to become a circle mage, and Carver would have had to die leaving the Lothering. Wait, what? Back. And I like Carver for some reason. Bethany, the little bit I know about Bethany is that she just didn't seem that interesting, and I liked Carver's character a little bit more. So, yeah, that's why I went about that. I recruited Isabella and returned her to Hawk. I helped Varric discover the cause of the haunting. Varric kept the red lyrium idol, and Fenris is alive and well, but he's still pursued. He was formerly owned by someone. Who was he owned by? Denarius, that's who it was. So he's still alive and well, but I didn't want it to be a perfect ending for him, so he's still kind of pursued in case something comes up, you know, in Dragon Age Inquisition, right? Aveline married Donick, and she stayed with Hawk, which probably is a bit of a contradiction, but fuck you. Meryl stayed with Hawk as well, and she's alive, and she did not destroy the Alluvion. Which is good, because I don't want the Alluvion to be destroyed in case the Warden might come back through it. Who knows? I didn't give Isabella to the Arishok, and I didn't approve of Anders' action at the Chantry, but I believe that I did let him go. I don't remember. whatever. Let's see, what else? Anders is alive and well. Meryl's clan was not killed, because why would I let them be killed? I recruited Sebastian and didn't make Talus angry, and I kissed Talus. Getting a little bit of lip action. Okay, so Act 1. Well, actually, I should probably go back to the prologue. I joined the smugglers as opposed to the mercenaries, because the well, hold on a sec. The mercenary company was true to their word, and Hawk's sponsorship was secured, or the smugglers provided Hawk with valuable connections while securing his access to Kirkwall. I don't know. It just seems like the smugglers would have did more for me than the mercenaries did, so I chose to go with them. There's the Legacy DLC. I found Malcolm's will, and I sided with Janika. All that does for me. Excuse me. Okay, so Act 1. I convinced the Templars to leave, returned cargo to Martin. Kelder was killed. I returned Samus to Viscount. Sorry if I butchered these names. Guinness died. I killed Danzig. I didn't tell the truth about Gislian's wife's death. I solved the mystery of the missing miners. I didn't blackmail Sir Thrask. Kiona? I don't know. Is alive and well. I sent Fenrir to the Dalish, and Kieran reinstated with the Templars. I defended Kitojan from the Kunari, and Karis is alive and well. So there's that. I know, I'm sorry, I'm rushing through this. I'm sure that there are some people that really would like me to go through all the Dragon Age 2 stuff. I didn't kill Gaspard, didn't side with Varnell again, I didn't side with Petris, and I discovered Looter of Hubert's caravans. I didn't encounter Yevon. Jarvis is still alive and well. I fought alongside the guards. Is there additional stuff to that? I guess not. The guardsmen, that's what it was. Fenrir freed and left for Tevinter. And I killed Arishok. Alright, what else is there? So we got one last act. Okay. Hawk offered to help Nuncio. By the way, Hawk is the protagonist of the second one. I'm noticing the Dragon Age 2 didn't really have quite as much customization options, and you didn't really have very much control over what you did, which I'm not too fond of. Which is probably why a lot of people didn't like it too much. But I let Zevran go. I handed conspirators to Orsino. I rescued Nathaniel. I reunited Sherrod and Gamlin. I allowed Emil to go free. I sided with the mages. I let Kieran go, and I didn't kill the dragon at the bone pit. What was the reason why I didn't do that? Oh yeah, because of the possibility of the dragon being in the next game. Who knows? Could happen. But yeah, that is essentially the end to the whole situation with Dragon Age Keep. Now, I think that I'll probably have the customization in this video as well. Like I said, I'm anticipating it'll be about an hour long. But if it's a situation in which I just can't get the definition of the character that I like in the customization options, I might just go with the default. I found that with the original Mass Effect games, or all the Mass Effect games, the default Shepard was always better looking than anything I could create just because it was pre-rendered, right? It was a pre-rendered, customized character, whereas with anything I made, it wasn't pre-rendered. It was all, you know, what's the word? Situational. Or not even situational, that's not the right word either. Procedural, I think, is a good way of saying it. It's just, it wasn't as defined because of that. It wasn't, you know, given as much attention. The details weren't as fleshed out. So because of that, I usually would choose the standard default Shepard. Hopefully that isn't a problem in this game. I've noticed that the character customization options are pretty lengthy from most of the videos that I've seen on it. So hopefully that won't be a problem. And I think that we'll go ahead and stop Dragon Age Keep here. I hope this gave you guys some much needed elaboration on everything that's going on with my past in this game. And I'm sorry that I kind of brushed through Dragon Age 2, but I need to get to a couple more things before the game comes out, which is in 10 minutes. So I am sorry about that. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you during the character customization. Hey guys, okay, I'm back. It's been a little bit of time since the first part of this video. I've been dedicating quite a bit of time to Far Cry 4. I wanted to go ahead and get those videos cranked out there before I get started on this, because I wanted to dedicate as much time as possible in one sitting to Dragon Age Inquisition, because this one really is a special game, or I hope to be a really special game. You know, I said earlier, I think, during the Dragon Age Keep thing, that Mass Effect is still to this day my favorite franchise, favorite series I've ever played. And so, I've never really gotten to play the Dragon Age games. Never got around to it. And so I'm really excited for Inquisition, and I'm hopeful that it's as good as, and possibly even better than the Mass Effect series, or, you know, what entails into that. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick a race and appearance. Alright, there's the humans, who are the most numerous and powerful race in Thedas. They're also the most divided politically and seem to thirst for conflict. Human characters receive a bonus ability point at the start of the game. Elves are historically oppressed people, distinguishable by their little frames and pointed ears. Though most survive in the poorest fringes of human cities, others live as nomads known as the Dalish. Elves receive a bonus of 25% to range defense. Dwarves are short, stocky, and most spend their entire lives underground. Those exiled to the surface are often merchants and smugglers. Because dwarves have no connection to the Fade, they cannot be mages, but receive a 25% bonus to magic defense. The Qunari are a race of horned giants who follow a strict religious text known as the Kun. Okay, alright, okay, I think I said earlier in the video, I misrepresented. It's not, like, interchangeable. I was thinking that the Kun was just another way of calling them the Qunari, like it was a nickname or something, but that's not true. Those who have abandoned its principles are known as Tal Vashtoth, not Vashtoth, Vashoth, I guess, is the way you pronounce that, and often work as mercenaries. Qunari characters get a bonus plus 10% physical damage resistance. I'm gonna go with human just because I feel like, for my first playthrough around, I don't want to like go too far off the beaten path, and I don't really know very much about these other characters. I think that I can probably get pretty well assimilated to the human race pretty easily, so we'll go ahead and go with that. Now, I've done a little bit of reading on this. By the way, this is my second time going through this. I've played the first, like, 15 minutes just to see how things work, as I do with most games. I tried out the Archer the first time, and that was so fucking boring. I did not realize how boring that would be, but we'll go ahead and read through each one. Rogue, dual wield. Rogues are fighters who rely on speed and agility rather than heavy armor, using skill and an advantageous position on the battlefield to deal incredible damage. They may get close and personal with daggers or strike from a distance with arrows. I think this is the same reading. Incredible damage. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, so I tried the Archer the first time, and that was so boring. Like, it's just me standing there shooting at people, but it's not like interactive combat. It's just like, it's kind of like what you would expect out of, you know, an RPG, I guess. But anyway, okay, so Warrior, two-handed. Warriors are frontline combatants, able to withstand incredible punishment in heavy armor. They are proficient in the use of two-handed weapons, like mauls and greatswords, but may combine a smaller weapon with a shield for added defense. Same reading. Alright, mages channel magical power into into spells capable of a wide range of effects, from debilitating opponents, protecting allies, or unleashing devastating elemental energy. Those who wield magic are widely feared for their abilities, and the rebellion against Chantry control has left the land in chaos. I don't know, one thing I've always had trouble with these types of games when I go with the magic class is I'm not good at keeping track of all those different abilities and elements that I could bring into it. And it's just something I'm not very good at, especially considering I'm playing on the gamepad, on PC, but I am playing on the gamepad. I know a lot of people give me shit for that, but I've always been most comfortable with the gamepad. Growing up, is that, you know, it provides, I guess, less freedom, but it also makes it to where you don't have to keep track of as much stuff. It's simpler, it's easier. So yeah, I don't know. Like, if there's like a time in the game where I can change my class or something, I might check out Mage. But to start off, I think what would... I'm kind of in between Rogue dual wield or... weapon and shield. Like, between those two. I'm not sure which one I would prefer, in all sincerity. You know, like I said, I wasn't too fond of the whole Archer. But I think that... The only reason why I wouldn't do weapon and shield is because I feel like some people might get kind of annoyed. Like, they're like, oh, you're just picking, like, the typical shit. Like, some people might be looking for a uniqueness. And if I choose this as well as being human, it's almost like I'm choosing the default class, and it's just like not very interesting, you know. I like the idea of the whole of the rogue and doing dual wield, and relying on speed and agility. It's always something I've thought was pretty cool, is, you know, being an agile sort of character as opposed to somebody who uses brute force, but that's not necessarily what this is with weapon and shield. That's more so the two-handed. And, I don't know, I tried the rogue class, and I don't know, I wasn't all that psyched out about it. I thought it was okay, but it wasn't anything special, and especially the archery part, it was just like I'm standing back, but I'd be more in it with dual-wielding as a rogue, so I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and go with rogue for dual wield, and if I don't like it, maybe I'll change the class. Okay, so we're going to go with normal. I'm not looking to impress anybody. Okay, so as the youngest child of the Trevelyan, I guess, noble house, you grew up in the free marcher city of Ostwick and have... excuse me, and have enjoyed a life of privilege. With close family ties to the Chantry and many relatives among the priesthood and the Templars, you were always expected to follow a similar path in service of the Maker. Regardless of how you feel about the matter personally, oh, I kind of presented that weirdly, but yeah, regardless of how you feel about the matter personally. Willing or unwilling, you were sent to the Chantry's conclave to assist relatives who sought to make peace between the Templars and mages. It did not go well. Yeah, and as you guys saw earlier with the Dragon Age Keep thing, I'm just importing that. Alright, so we get right into the customization of all that. I think I kind of... I don't know. I don't really like the character that I did last time. I didn't like his look, so we're going to go with this one. This isn't going to be as easy with gamepad. I did this with keyboard and mouse last time just because customization would be easier that way, but yeah, we'll make do. Alright, so skin tone. I can't seem to move the thing. Oh, okay, there we go. I want to be white, damn it. Okay, that didn't... Let's go back. Okay. Accept. Okay. And I'm not going into this, like, having any sort of set look that I want, necessarily. I'm just gonna be open and, you know, looking at everything that's available. Yeah, we'll go ahead and stick with the what was already there. Alright, I want a character that's relatively young looking. I want him to be, you know... I don't know, probably mid-20s looking, probably. I'm not really interested in, like, having some sort of old, you know, older, you know, man kind of character. You know, it's just, yeah. There's no particular reason, it's just something that's more aesthetically, like, it just makes sense to me. Yeah, that works. Alright, blue eyes, because I have blue eyes. Why wouldn't I give him blue eyes? Alright, that's too far. There we go. That's probably... That's borderline purple almost, it feels like, but... uh-oh. A little bit of lag there. But I feel like that's the best representation of what my eyes look like, so... and I'm not necessarily, like, going full on, like, what I look like. It's just... I don't know. I'm being weird. His ears look fucking weird, though. Like, he looks like he's an elf, almost, with those ears. Yeah, I'll give him a little bit of facial hair. Yeah, let's give him a little bit of stubble. I don't want to go too far with it.
I just hope I can help.
Everything you've heard, completely true.
That voice doesn't really match. Yeah, let's go with this one.
I just hope I can help.
Okay. Ear size. Yeah, I don't want him to have, like, any sort of, like, antennas on his fucking head. Like, that'd be weird. Alright, your position. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's not letting me... Oh, it only lets me go horizontal. Alright, whatever. I don't know, I don't like the way the ears look. Like, it's not allowing me to really adjust the top of them, which I don't quite understand. Okay, cheek shape. I think his cheeks look okay as it is. Oh, hold on. Yeah, his cheeks looks fine. They look fine as they are. Eyebrows seem a little indented. I'm not too fond of that. Yeah, okay. I don't want them to go out too far, you know? There we go. I know these like really like intricacy sort of things, but I don't know. I want to have a good-looking character. You know, I don't want him having all like weird-looking features. I'm not looking to make this guy look like an asshole. You know, this isn't Dead Rising. Eye shape. Okay, so these are presets. Gotcha. Ooh, he looks all menacing now. I don't like that. Fuck it. Actually, those eyes look fine. I'm also finding that there is no, like, default character, which is actually, like, this looks rendered very well. Like, I'm surprised at how well-defined this is for a customized character, you know? Yeah, don't fuck with the eyes too much. I think the problems I have with this guy the most is his nose. He looks like a, like, I don't know. He looks like Guy Pearce. That's what he looks like. Like with his nose in particular. Okay, I can choose different eyebrows. Let's see, which would I prefer? All these are all bushy and weird looking. Those look okay. Eyebrow position. I don't really care about eyelashes. I don't want this guy having, like, mascara or anything, so I think that he's fine as it is. Yeah, let's stick with that. Okay, so adjust the nose. Actually, can I adjust the hair? I look like an asshole. Can I not adjust hair? Oh, there we are. Yeah, I just forgot to go to that. Alright. Let's see, what do we have here? Alright. I'm making a white character, so it'd be kind of weird if he had that hair. Yeah, and he's not 45 working at an office building, so this doesn't really work very well either. Alright, this seems more like the time frame. That looks like a girl. Are those... That's not girl hair, is it? I think that's interchangeable. You know, the one thing that I have a problem with is that, like, he looks like he has lipstick on, even though he's not wearing any makeup or anything, so that's kind of strange. Yeah, he looks like he's in one direction, so we're not going to go with that. Okay, this is male hair. Alright. Now he looks like the Kingslayer, so no. No. Now he looks like he's in Star Wars. This reminds me of, like, Anakin, for some reason. Ooh. Buddy, your head is weird looking when it's bald. It's all white and shit. Well, we're gonna go ahead and give you this, because it's the best that I can find. Alright, is there a way to adjust the head? No, it's just forehead. Alright, well, fuck it. Let's just go to nose. Actually, to be honest with you, that one looks okay. I might widen it a little bit, but... yeah. Overall, it looks not bad. Looks a little too straight, though. I don't know, for some reason... No, it's the tip of the nose. Looks a little bulbous. That's the problem. Nose position. Okay, so I've made a couple changes. The game kind of, I don't know, got all weird and minimized and wouldn't let me open it back up, so I had to restart the customization, but it's basically the same thing. I made maybe a few small changes, but it is still the same guy for the most part. Jesus Christ, he looks like such a fucking femmy looking dude. Whatever. Mouth shape. Let's see. Something might be important.
As long as the job gets done,
fuck
I don't
that.
care about the rest. As long as the job gets done, I don't care about the rest.
You leave me no choice.
As long as the job gets done, I don't care about the rest.
I think that... I don't know. I don't like the little droop at the very bottom. Yeah, I'll probably go with that one, but... Oh my god, that's terrible. It's like a fucking rabbit. Ugh. Alright, we're gonna go with that.
How much is this going to cost me exactly?
No, I think it looks good. Maybe jawline? Maybe... No, chin size would probably be best. First of all, get rid of that fucking double chin. Yeah, nuh-uh. We ain't having a fat character. Fuck that shit. Okay. Well, no, you don't wanna mess with it too much. Yeah. Okay, there we go. That's good. That's fine. An Adam's apple? Sure. There. I don't know. There's just something about him that's like... I don't know. First of all, I don't like the lips. I don't like his glossy looking lips. And I don't know how to change that. Yeah, they look all shiny and weird looking. Whatever. Okay, scars. Here's for the fun... No, time for the fun part. Okay, so I like that scar that he has, matter of fact. But I'm able to adjust the placement of it and the severity of the scar itself. Oh, and there's that one too. I don't want it to be like completely fresh. Matter of fact, I want it to be faded a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, horizontal position. So I can move it along the side if I want. How far can I move it? Oh, okay, I can move it all the way across. I didn't realize that. Alright, we're gonna go with... I wanted to go through the eyebrow. Let's go right there in vertical position. Move it a little bit further down. Make it look like somebody almost took his eye out or something. I don't care about tattoos. Actually, matter of fact, I think we're done. I think this looks pretty decent. Yeah. Alright, yeah, accept that. Maxwell. What the f... Maxwell. We're gonna go with Jake, because that's my name. Wow, he's on fire.